Hi, I'm Raheela and I'm the CEO of Wealthy 7 Nation. I received a mandate a few months ago to help everybody who will receive this mandate step out of lack and into a place of abundance where man is restored back into the original plan in the 7 areas of wealth, in your relationship with God, in your relationship with your family, in your work, in your mind, in your sphere of influence, that's your social network, in your finances, and the legacy that you leave. Now, what this means is that it is time for us to return back to God when God spoke blessing unto us. And I'm inviting you to be a part of this community with me. Do you know that inflation on average increases by 25% every year? But if you were earning 200,000 last year, the value of your 200,000 would only be about 150,000 this year. That's even in a normal inflation growth. But imagine if you were in Nigeria of last year and Nigeria of this year. Do you know the price of things? Everything has increased by 800%. I mean, that means if you are earning 200,000 and your salary has not been increased from last year, that simply means that today the value of your 200,000 is as little as 40,000 naira. It's a terrible place to be. But the good news I have for you right now is that this is not the end. The truth is that there is no economy that elevates the poverty of its people. It is not possible. It's up to you to decide that you have had enough of lack. You have had enough of living paycheck to paycheck. You have had enough of borrowing. You have had enough of letters from the school saying your children will be sent home if you don't pay school fees. It's time for you to make up your mind to make that change. Now, as little back as 5 years ago, investment was a mystery, and it was assumed that only the wealthy could invest and knew about investment, because it was assumed that you have to have a lot before you can even consider investment. But that's not the case at all. Do you know, with as little as 10,000 naira or even $5, which is about 7,000 naira, you can start your investment journey today. Why is investment important, and why am I talking to you about investment? Investment is very important to you because this is the only way you can build lasting wealth. This is the only way you can have enough money to buy that house. It's the only way you can have enough money for that school you want your children to go to. Remember, the only true legacy we can give our children is a sound education. When you give them the right education, you give them an edge. Listen to me, I am not joking when I say that this is one of the best times to invest in the stock market, because there has been a dip that is the same thing as when a store is having a sales. Prices are crashed down, and that is the best time to buy whatever you want to buy. For example, Meta was almost $700 a share, but Meta is merely 500 plus as at today. The same thing with Nvidia, that had climbed up to 137 a share, but Nvidia is just 111 as at today. That means this is a great opportunity for you to invest. Now, don't be afraid because I'm calling $100, $600. You can buy in fractions money. I encourage us to invest in US stocks. The first one is because they have been more consistent in their growth, and the dividends that are given out to shareholders regularly. My main reason is because the naira in recent times has been going through a lot of fluctuation. It has not been stable, and the last couple of days naira has been having a kind of, in quotes, according to the financiers, a free fall. So no matter how much you have, if your money is in naira, you continue to lose. But if your money is left in dollars, or you are buying dollar stock, even if you are changing $5, $4, $3 at a time, you know how much is coming to you in naira. So I encourage us for now to buy US stocks. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand me. You definitely add Nigerian stocks into your portfolio as you gain experience and as you understand your preferences. But as a beginner, I advise us to invest in US stocks that pay regular dividends so that you continue to earn passively. Dollar cost averaging is when you decide to buy a particular stock regularly, whether the price is going high or the price is going low. It doesn't matter to you. What you do is, at a fixed day every month, you buy a particular amount of that stock. So whether you are doing dollar cost averaging for Meta, that is a little bit on the high side for Nigerians, when you consistently buy, what you do is eventually you own a stock of Meta. That means if you are able to leverage dollar cost averaging and have one stock, by the end of the year, you have made a reasonable amount of money. But another good thing about dollar cost averaging is that when the price of that stock is low, you are making more money. And somebody is asking, I've heard enough, Raheela, and I understand. How do I get started? Simple. I've tried several apps, I've used several apps, but for me, the easiest one to use and the most convenient one to use is Bamboo. Bamboo is a Nigerian fintech company that gives you easy access to invest in both US and Nigerian stock. It's very simple. No complications in investment. The first deposits you make, you have to use a card. Subsequently, you can invest directly from any of your Naira accounts into the Bamboo wallet, and then from there buy your stock. It's as simple as that. Before you go ahead and choose the stock you want to start with, I want to explain to you different types of stocks. You can go for individual stocks or you can go for ETFs. What's the difference between the two? Somebody is saying. They are both very straightforward and simple. ETFs of companies that have been brought together under one group, so that when you make your investment into that ETF, your money is spread across that group of companies, usually the best 500 in that particular sector, whether finance or technology, AI, oil and gas, banking, whatever sector you choose. The best 500 companies will be brought together into a group as an ETF. On the other hand, individual stocks are just one stock, either Meta, Nvidia, Coca-Cola, Apple, Amazon. Those are all individual stocks. So if you're a beginner and your risk level is very low, I would recommend you begin with an ETF. We have ETFs that have been stable and consistently growing over the years, like VOO, SPY, QQQ. These are ETFs that you can start with as little as $5, 7,000 Naira, 10,000 Naira, and watch your money grow. Now, there are two types of investment: growth investment and dividend investment. Growth investment means that you are not waiting for your dividends. You are somebody who wants to get returns on your investment as it grows. That's growth investment. On the other hand, dividend investment is when you put your money in a portfolio that shares dividends. Most companies share every 3 months, every 6 months. So you wait, it's like a salary, but not a monthly salary. So you wait until dividends are shared, and then you get your share of that dividend. If they do very well that year, you get a higher percentage. If they do lower, not as well that year, you get a lower investment. But most ETFs, if you invest in ETFs that shares dividends, most ETFs are stable. They are growing steadily. So there's no time usually that you will not get paid your dividends. So if you're somebody who wants to invest in ETFs, I would recommend you start with VOO or SPY. These track the S&P 500 index companies, the best 500 companies in the United States. So there's no losing with these stocks. I personally have stock in both these ETFs. Another ETF I can recommend is VTI. DGRO. DGRO focus on companies that have consistent growth and a good percentage share of their dividend. For individual stock, I would always advise, or let me put it this way, the best financial advisors will always tell you invest in companies that have physical products. So one thing that is an acid test for your individual investment is what are those products that are popular and people love, and they're not likely to stop loving soon. The first name that comes to mind is Apple. So you're probably watching this from an Apple device, either an Apple phone or an Apple laptop. And just about everybody you know who lives in the United States is using an Apple product. So if you want to invest in an individual stock, I would recommend Apple, Microsoft, of course, corporation, and corporation like Coca-Cola. There are lots of corporations. I personally have investments in Meta. I have investments in the AI corporations like Nvidia, Palantir, but I am not an investment expert. I'm just somebody who has gone on this journey. I've seen the results and I want you to join me on it too. So make your research, make your decision, and invest wisely. Now let's move to the next thing. But before we go, if you haven't subscribed, this is a good place to do so. Okay, now I have invested, Raheela. What is next? The next thing to do is be patient. Know that investment is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You grow wealth over time. There's nothing that lasts, that springs up like a firecracker and then dies back down. Everything lasting takes time to build. Some of our investments will wait to yield a dividend in 5 years' time. That is why I'm saying you have to have a goal. I keep saying this. You have to have a goal. You have to have a plan. What are you investing for? Are you someone who is investing for a student's universities? Then you know that you need this money in 3 to 5 years' time. Then you break down how much you need to invest to get so and so dividends by then. So your goal matters. Learn as you go. Study talks. Study the market, understand what is happening in the market part time. Always listen to investment news like Yahoo News, Finance News. If you subscribe to Bamboo News, they send updates on their WhatsApp platform, so don't miss that. By the way, if you're investing in Bamboo, download the Bamboo app and use my link below. If you invest up to a certain percentage, I get a commission. Otherwise, it's just an easy way for you to get started. Another thing you need to do now is be consistent. Make up your mind that from now on, every salary that comes in, you are going to take a certain percentage. You're going to take a certain percentage, 5%. Add it to your portfolio. When you have a share, recommended you have 5 shares. If you have a share in one corporation, move on to another one. Have shares in about 3 ETFs, and then have shares in about 5 individual stocks. Now, individual stock, have shares in only 2 highly volatile corporations and 3 in the most stable ones that have consistent growth rate. Do your research and understand what I'm saying properly. Another thing you can do is set up automatic investments. That means you mandate Bamboo to take money from your account and invest at a particular time every month. That makes it easy for you. Even if you forget, even if you're busy, your money is being invested. That's really, really very convenient, actually. Another thing you need to do is resist checking your portfolio every day. Give your portfolio time. Why? Because we're emotional creatures. If you're checking every day, you begin to see some of the volatility of the market. If you are not somebody who is stable emotionally, you begin to think, I'm losing my money, Raheela, I'm losing my money. But no, you don't lose your money in the stock market. It might go down, but it will come up after some time. And I'll tell you a secret for free. Anytime stocks go down, that is the time to buy more stock, because that means you'll be making more by the time it goes up. I'd like to encourage you to join my community, Wealthy Nation, on Instagram. The link will be in the description. This is a place where like-minded people come together, we encourage ourselves, we talk about the 7 areas of building wealth, and we find practical ways in which to build this wealth so that we are rightly positioned to influence the world, even for the kingdom. As a reward for staying to the end of this video, that's why I deliberately did not say it at the beginning of the video. As a reward for staying to the end of the video, I say congratulations. Right in my link, you'll find a document that has the 10 companies that pay dividends every month. Choose 2, 3, 4 of these companies, invest your money, and become a passive salary earner. And once again, I say congratulations for taking the step. The best time to have started investment was 10 years ago. The second best time to start investing is today. Don't miss this opportunity. This is a very serious thing we're talking about. This is about building generational wealth. Listen to me. If you are 18, this is the best time to start. If you are 30, this is the best time to start. If you are 50 or 55, this is the best time to start. If your children have a smartphone, take their smartphone, download the Bamboo app, open a portfolio for them and invest $5 for them in the account. And let me tell you what you can do every month. Add $5 for them. As they grow, this will open their mindsets to wealth and understanding finances. What they will begin to do is have a sense of ownership. Before you know it, when they have money of their own, they will say, "Mommy, can you add to my stock? Can you add to my portfolio?"